I want to start off this press conference to say something as a deep note that I can tell America. What we seen at the beginning of this press conference, the father being at this press conference, these are my words, don't quote anybody, is a disrespect to the dignity of his son.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's your favorite part-time YouTuber, Crow, and I want to talk to you about what just recently occurred with Austin Metcalf's father. So for those of you who are unaware, the Karmelo Anthony family decided to do their first and allegedly their only press conference. And what wound up happening is Austin Metcalf's father showed up to the press conference. The press conference was open to the public. He showed up there. He was quiet. He was not making a scene, but the family obviously were agitated because they don't know what this guy is going to do. They don't know what he's going to say, and they're doing this press conference to position their side of the story and position their son as this very sweet innocent kid who did nothing wrong. He's a straight A student. Having the father of the murder victim there obviously is going to make it very difficult for you to try to garner as much sympathy as you need here. Now, I don't want to go through the rest of the press conference because it's really difficult for me to watch the way that they talk about Austin Metcalf's dad, because Austin Metcalf's father has forgiven Karmelo Anthony. One of the very first things he did was come out and denounce anybody who was making racist posts and tried to basically say, it's not a racial issue. This is just something that happened and my son is dead, and it's a terrible thing that's occurred. That's how the father has been talking about this the entire time. But the family of Karmelo Anthony, I find them to be very, very disturbing and disgusting people. And the reason why I say that is one of the first things that occurred after the whole stabbing had happened and people found out about it was somebody claiming to be a member of the family who has never been disowned, stated not to be one of them, nothing like that, came out with a whole story about how Austin Metcalf and his twin brother were known bullies. They were regularly bullying Karmelo Anthony. They jumped him and they were beating him up and they wanted to steal his stuff. And this dude, again, is claimed to be a member of the family. The family themselves have talked about all the other fake stuff that's been posted, and I'll bring that up too. Okay, and I think it's wrong, but again, again, comparing it to the stuff that was claimed about Austin Metcalf by people claiming to be members of this dude's family, it's really frustrating. It really is. So again, all of this stuff is wrong. Okay, this guy goes, and again, it's not the most views on it, but this is a lot of things I see a lot of people posting. It's just all condensed into one. But he goes, Karmelo Anthony admitted to stabbing to death Austin Metcalf. Since then, DEI judge reduces bail a lot and releases Karmelo. Karmelo buys a new house and new car. Over $447,000 is donated to him. Merch is sold in his name. There is systemic racism. It's not against blacks. I listen, man, I don't think systemic racism exists anymore. I do think that if there's anything, it's definitely going in one direction. But the whole thing about a DEI judge is it is a black judge, okay? But the black judge put the kid on house arrest. I know people are gonna, he's 17. He's not. I call people that are 20 kids because they're much younger than me at this point. So again, she puts him on house arrest. He's not a flight risk. He's more than likely not going to stab his family. So he's not a risk of reoffending. This is how bail works. So you calling her a DEI judge, it's basically just because she is black and she made a ruling that you don't alike. Karmelo buys a new house and new car. These are both false. Apparently, they are just renting a house, and the car comes from his from his like attorneys. Over $447,000 is donated to him. This is true. Merch is sold in his name. This is true. I don't think either of these two have anything to do with the top two, which are both like just blatantly false. But again, these are wrong. You shouldn't be lying about the family. It's just I have like almost zero sympathy, because the lies that were told about Austin Metcalf were that he was a drug addict who was on drugs at the time. Again, a fake autopsy report came out. The lie that he was a bully who was going around and jumping people with his twin brother, right? Like the lies that they've told about Austin Metcalf are extreme. Like the fake social media post that went around trying to proclaim that this kid was like a literal white supremacist that wanted to hunt black people. Like, all of this stuff was said about Austin Metcalf within a day of him dying. And so, like, I get it. Don't get me wrong. Like, what this guy is doing, the lying and the lying and the lying about the family and such, it's wrong. I agree. Like, I'm totally with people on that. But the things that were said about Austin Metcalf within a day of him dying, and like, the idea that this family is given these dignity is totally false. Like, I am like frustrated, like, seeing it, because it's so blatant. It really is. And I've watched the Give, Send, Go. I've seen plenty of comments that make it very clear that people are very happy to donate to this kid, not because they think he's innocent, but because they're very happy to hear that a black kid stabbed a white kid, and they're getting off on the idea that he doesn't go to prison for it. It's disgusting. It really is. But anyways, after Austin Metcalf's father went to this press conference, somebody tried to SWAT him.
Breaking news and an update on the deadly stabbing in Frisco. Frisco police just confirmed a swatting call was made tonight to an address belonging to the victim's father.
Frisco PD responded to a call reporting shots fired at the home of Jet Metcalf, father of slain teen Austin Metcalf. No one was home at the time, though Metcalf arrived about 5 minutes after the call. The home had been swatted per CBS 19. They talk about Metcalf's son, how he was stabbed and everything. Father Jeff Metcalf has attended a press conference on Thursday that was held by the family and representatives of Anthony. Before the conference began, he was escorted out. Dominique Alexander, a spokesperson for the Anthony family, said, "The father being at this press conference, these are my words, don't quote anybody, is a disrespect to the dignity of his son. He knows that it is inappropriate to be near this family," Alexander went on to say, "but he did it. Actions speak louder than words." You know, one thing, and I don't want to include it in my video. You can watch the press conference yourself. I think other people have clipped it too. The father gets accused of being tricked by white supremacists online, and like the stuff that got said about the dad is really disgusting to me, because the father has been as lenient on his son's killer as I think is humanly possible. Like, straight up has forget, like, he says he's gonna go to prison, but he said, like, I feel terrible for this kid because he's ruined his life too, as you know, like, as well as killing my son. Like, that's the father. The father's been the most gracious person in all this. And the thing is, like, Austin's brother, it doesn't feel this way. Austin's mother doesn't feel this way. The dad is like the only one who's tried to be nice to his son's killer and his son's killer's family, and they've treated this guy like he is human garbage. Like, they have treated him like he is absolute trash. Meanwhile, all of these nasty and terrible and awful things have been said about his son by the killer's supporters, and the killer's family then turns around and says, you know, people are lying about us, and they're calling us greedy, and they're saying that we're using the fundraising money to buy a house and a car. Again, don't lie about the family, but man, I'm struggling here. I really am. I feel like less than zero sympathy for these people. I really do. And the lawyer they hired, it just greasy and slimy all together.